Chapter 17. Vincent had been hovering behind the old professor, hoping that he would somehow give him a clue how to get Annie and George out of the trap. He knew he could easily overpower the old man, but what good would that do? If Susan wouldn't tell him how to how to extract George and Danny from the bizarre room that he could see on the screen, they could be in even more trouble than before. Vincent glanced down at George's cell phone, which he'd picked up off the floor, and saw that the screen bore the message, "Missed call, home." It was at that moment that he heard Annie's cry of pain, and realized he could stand by no longer. Reading himself, he leapt out from behind the pile of old furniture with a great battle cry. He flew through the air and landed immediately behind Josephine, felling him with one swift and totally accurate karate chop. Josephine had half turned in surprise, but he toppled like an ancient tree, his eyes rolling back in his head as he crumpled to the floor and lay there, unconscious. On the screen, Vincent saw Annie and George's astonished face peering back at him. "Vincent!" Annie covered the TV screen with kisses. George dragged her back. "Vincent," he said, "that was amazing!" "Vincent, you're the best," said Annie. Calm, George elbowed her out of the way again. "But, Vince, how are we going to get out?" "Call my dad," shouted Annie. "Tell him about the bomb at the LHC." Using George's cell phone, Vincent scrolled and found Eric. He pressed the green phone icon and waited, but all he got was an electric voice telling him that the phone was switched off and he would have to try again later. "The remote control!" shouted George. "Vince, get the remote control from Josephine." Vincent looked down at the front figure of Josephine, splayed on the floor in its tweed suit, his mustache dropping on the floor in his tweed suit. His muzzle dropped to one side. He leaned down and pried the remote control out of Josephine's finger, holding it up to the TV screen so George and Eric could see it. Is the one?" said Vincent. "Yeah," said George. "That's it. Now, can you get out us?" "Like, how?" asked Vincent quietly. "How does this thing work?" "Oh no," said George. "I didn't think of that. I don't know. What if you look at it more closely?" Vincent held the controller right next to the screen. "It's no good," said George in frustration. "The picture isn't clear enough. And Vince and George, you've got to be quick. There isn't much time." "Call the LHC," said Annie. "Tell them there's bomb Forget it. They wouldn't believe him, said George. There's only one way. That's to get there and defuse the bomb ourselves. On the other side, Vincent was staring at the remote control. The nine friends menu on my TV remote at home, he said slowly. It makes the television change between the fraction. Why is the sort of the what we need? The embers, the Schrödinger, Schrödinger trap to do. We needed to change from a trap to a puddle. Shall I try it? He asked nervously. You have to, said George. It's our only hope. Vincent took a deep breath and pressed the menu button. Nothing happened. He pressed it again and a list came up on the Cosmos screen. The came list of options appeared on the television screen. Inside the Schrödinger trap, he read out loud the first option friend. Waiting inside the inverse Schrödinger trap. The second option, large, harder, and colder. Those must be the location Josephine has visit. If we choose the collider, perhaps it will take us to the place where he left the bomb. If there are arrow button on the remote, said George, clicking very fast. Use them to select LHC. I don't know, fretted Vincent. When it came to dangerous spots like skateboarding and karate, he knew no fear. But faced with sending his friend into certain danger, he felt terrified. I can't, he said. I can't send you to the LAC. There's a bomb. Vincent, do it, said Annie, shoving George out of the way again. You have to get us to the LHC. You don't. If you don't, my dad will never come home. That's what River said. The quicker you do it, the more time we have when we arrive to find the bomb and defuse it. Press the button, Vince, and we'll open the door. Send us there. Vincent gave a heart-wrenching sigh and pushed the select button. The cursor hovering over the highlighted LHC letters on the screen. As he did so, George reached forward and pulled open the door. The last Vincent saw of his friend on the television monitor was their backs. Disappearing through the photo doorway, and he managed to work Cosmos where he should have sent them. Should he have made them back to Foxbridge? And what if he'd like a warmer for them the fast route? What if he accidentally sent them back in time? What then? Vincent gently sank to the the floor and waited, his head his head in his hand, while Josephine, the progenitor of all this evil, snored on the floor beside him. Wormhole and time travel. Imagine that you are an ant and you live on the surface of an apple. The apple hangs from the ceiling by a thread. so thin that you can't climb up it. So the Earth's surface is your entire universe. You can't go anywhere else. Now imagine that a worm had eaten whole of the apple. So you can walk from one side of apple to the other by either two roads around the apple's surface, your universe, or by a shortcut. There's the wormhole. Could our universe be like this apple? Could our universe be like this apple? Could there be a wormhole that link one place in our universe to another? If so, what would such a wormhole look like to us? The wormhole would have two mouths, one at each end. One mouth might be at Buckingham Palace in London, and the other on a beach in California. The mouth might be spherical, looking into the London mouth a little like looking into a crystal ball. You could see this California beach with the leafy waves and the swaying palm tree looking into the California mouth. Your friend might see you in London with the palace and its guard behind you. Unlike a crystal ball, the mounts are not solid. You could step right into the big spherical mount in London, and then after a very flat weird sort of tunnel, you would you would arrive on the beach in California and could spend the day surfing with your friend. Wouldn't it be wonderful to have such a wormhole? The apple's interior has three dimensions: east, west, north, south, and up, down. While each surface has only two, the apple's wormhole connected funny points on the two directions. Then the surface might penetrate the three dimensional interior. Similarly, your wormhole connects London and California in our three-dimensional universe by penetrating through a four-dimensional or maybe even more dimensional hyperspace that is not part of our universe. Our universe is governed by laws of physics. These laws dictate what can happen in our universe and what cannot. Do this law permit the wormhole to exist? Amazingly, the answer is yes. Unfortunately, according to those laws, most wormholes will implode. Their tunnel walls will collapse so quickly that nobody and nothing can travel through the end surface. To prevent this implosion, we must insert into the wormhole, which weird from a matter that has negative energy. which produce a sort of anti-gravity force that hold the wormhole open. Can matter with the negative heat? Amazingly, again, the answer is yes too, and such matter is made daily in physics laboratories, but only only in a tiny amount of only for a short moment of time. It is made by boring of or energy from the vacuum, boring some energy from a region of space that has none. That is by boring energy from the vacuum. What is bored, however, must be returned very quickly, and the latter is the vacuum, unless the amount borrowed is very tiny. How do we know? We learned this by approaching the laws of physics closely, using mathematics. Suppose you are a superb engineer and you want to hold how uh, how do we know? We learn this by scrunching scrunching the laws of physics closely, using mathematics. Suppose you are a superb engineer and you want to hold the held a wormhole oven. Is it possible to assemble to negative energy inside a wormhole and hold it there long to ferment your friend to travel my throat? But my best guess is no. But nobody on Earth knew the shore yet. We haven't been smart to figure it out. If the laws of ferment a wormhole to be held open, might such wormhole occur naturally in our universe? Very probably not. They would amount to certainly have to be made and held open artificially by engineers. How far are human engineers today from being able to make wormholes and hold them open? Very, very far. Wormhole technology. It is possible at all. May be as difficult for us as spaceflight was for cavemen, but for a very advanced civilization that has mastered the wormhole technology, wormholes would be wonderful. The ideal means for the interstellar travel. Imagine you are an engineer in such a civilization. Put one wormhole amount one of the crystal ball like sprees into a into a spaceship and carry it out into the universe at very high speed and then back to your home planet. The loss of physics tell us that this drift could take a few days as sit and felt and measured in the spaceship, but several years as it felt and measured on the planet. The result is weird. If you now walk into the space travel mouth, dropped the tunnel like a wormhole, and out the stay-at-home mode. You will go back in time by several years. The wormhole has become a machine for traveling backward in time. With such a machine, you could try to change history. You could go back in time, meet your younger self on a certain day, and tell yourself to stay, to stay at home because when you left for work that day, you got hit by a truck. Stephen Hawking has conjectured that the laws of physics prevent anyone from ever making a time machine, and Derby, Derby uh, prevent history from even being changed because the world chronology means the arrangement of events or dates and the order of their appearance. This is called the the chronology protection conjecture. We don't know for sure whether Stephen is right, but we do know the two ways in which the which the laws of physics might prevent the time machines from being made and thereby project the chronology. First, the laws might always prevent even the most advanced of engineers from collecting enough negative energy to hold a wormhole of us travel through it. Remarkably, Stephen has proved that using the laws of physics that every time machines requires negative energy. So this would prevent any time machines from being made. And not just time machines that use wormholes. The second way to prevent the time machines is this. My physiologists and I have shown that time machines might always destroy themselves, perhaps by a gigantic explosion. At the moment when anyone tried to turn them on, the laws of physics give a strong hit that has maybe so, but we don't yet understand the laws and the prediction well in order to be sure. So the verdict is unclear. We do not know for sure whether the laws of physics allow very advanced civilization to construct a wormhole for interstellar travel or machines for traveling back in time. To find out for certain requires a deeper understanding of the laws than Stephen or I or the other scientists have yet achieved. That is a challenge for you, the next generation of scientists.